This is how we do it.
You're listening to the Nasser Kyobe Show.
Nasser played not just high-level high school football. He was a logger at UPS.
Over the middle it goes, and the pass was complete, and he gets absolutely belted at the 40-yard line. The sideline erupts as Nasser Kyobe just exploded the wide receiver.
Did Nasser say things like, I'm sending you to outer space?
And as he got his momentum going, was chopped down. Nice tackle there from Nasser Kyobe.
Go Hawks.
Kaepernick trying to save his last 2 timeouts. Calls the play. His wide receiver slotted on the far side. Shotgun for Kaepernick. Takes the snap. Looks. Fires near side. Going for the end zone. Ball is tipped up and after way. Is it picked up? Is it picked off? It is! It's picked off in the end zone! The Seahawks intercept in the end zone! Richard Sherman tips it! Malcolm Smith picks it off in the end zone! Intended in the far corner! The Seahawks are going to run this baby down! We are going to New Jersey! Holy smoke! The defense does it again! Holy catfish!
In a play that's going to be remembered in Seattle sports history as the tip, Sherman tips it to Malcolm Smith, and we are going to Super Bowl 48. How's it going, everybody? You're listening to another edition of the Nasser Kyobe Show, Super Bowl edition. I don't even know where to start. Words can't describe my elation right now. Our Seahawks are playing in the Super Bowl. Like I said in my last show, I've been waiting for this moment since 2005, and the lesson I learned there is you're never guaranteed to come back, and we are back, baby. What a freaking game. Unbelievable. I didn't have the opportunity to go to the game, but I watched it downtown at a bar across the street, and oh my God, the scene down there was nuts. Absolutely crazy. I mean, you got people running up and down the street. You got cars honking their horns. I mean, it was a damn near riot, but it was one of the better moments I've ever had watching that game. Just the fact that it came down to the last play. Oh, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I never thought we were going to lose the game. Never did one, not for a second, but I was very concerned. As it got late, I couldn't get 31 seconds out of my head. I just couldn't do it from last year. And I don't want to be that pessimistic guy, but I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I'm at a bar, and there's a bunch of drunk people, and everyone's celebrating 3 minutes before the game's over as our offense is kind of self-destructing, and then we fumble on the goal line. And, just losing my stuff. I was going crazy, but the guys pulled it off, and it was just a hell of a game. And there's so many unsung heroes from that game. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but, I mean, you guys watched the game. We fall down 10-0, and I didn't think we were going to lose at that point, but you knew we had to do something. And guy who answered the bell is Marshawn Lynch.
3rd and 1 at the San Francisco 40. Bailey is in at a tight end on the left side, and winged off of him is Zach Miller. Under center. Wilson turns, hands to Lynch, finds room, first down, and more. Inside the 30, the 25, 20. He's on the move, beast mode. 10, 5. He is in. Touchdown, Seahawks. No flags. What a run by Marshawn Lynch. A 40-yard touchdown scamper. Beast mode is alive and well, and the Seahawks are a point away from tying this baby up.
Great run by Marshawn, tied the game up at 10 as we fired back. And then on the next possession, Kaepernick answers back. I mean, the guy was killing us all day long with his feet. I mean, he had about 100 yards in the first half rushing alone. So we tied up at 10-10. They come on back. They storm back. Kaepernick hits Bolden in the back of the end zone. Maybe an inch over Earl Thomas' outstretched hand, which kind of shows you this game is a game of inches. But so they go up 17-10. And again, you're thinking, damn, they struck back right away. And again, another one of my unsung heroes from Sunday is Doug Baldwin. And it started with this.
Dawson from his own 35, kicking right to left, strides forward, boots it high, end over end. Baldwin comes forward, 2 yards deep. He's going to bring it out, 10, 15. He's got some running lane, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Midfield, he's on the move near side, makes one man miss, and is knocked out of bounds in San Francisco territory. At the 33-yard line, Doug Baldwin explodes. Upfield, a huge return for Doug Baldwin. 69 yards. The Hawks are in business.
I mean, Doug played his butt off. He had 6 receptions for 106 yards, and then he had that big 69-yard kickoff return. And he helped kind of get it going before Marshawn's touchdown when Russell had that amazing play where he scrambles all over the place and hits Baldwin 51 yards downfield, which was great, and that kind of got us going. But this was huge for me in my book. This is one of the biggest plays of the game because our offense still was not clicking on all cylinders yet. And to get us right there in field goal position, I mean, we didn't cash in with a touchdown, but it got us 3. And then right after that, our boy Jermaine Kearse comes up big.
4th and 7 from the 35. Russell has a trips to his far side with Lynch in the backfield. Russell out of the shotgun, stands at the 40-yard line. Somebody steps into the neutral zone on the snap and a free play, throws it for the end zone, deep down to the back of the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown! Are you kidding me? What a catch! Jermaine Kearse on a free play throw to the end zone. Offside by the Niners is declined, and the Seahawks score. What a call by Pete Carroll. Oh my goodness, the touchdown from 35 yards out for the Seahawks.
Unbelievable play. And let's get some background on it if you don't remember. So it's 4th and 7. It's going to be a long field goal. We're kicking into the wind. And after listening to that sound FX thing, when they got our guys mic'd up, you hear Hauschka say, he's like, I can't make it. It's out of my range. Like, it's too long. So they send the field goal team out there, and they kind of just wait as Pete Carroll and the guys are talking about in the headsets. They take the delay, or they call a timeout. So it's 4th and 7. They send the offense back on the field. And right before that, you hear Russ saying, we got to kick this. We got to kick this. Pete elected to go for it, and just being the savvy quarterback Russell is, he noticed he'd been getting them to jump all game long, so he goes on another hard count. They jump. He knows he has a free play, and he throws it up, and Jermaine Kearse makes a hell of a catch. I mean, put us up. It's a lead we never gave back, but just a hell of a play. And here's a big-time lesson to all you D linemen out there, because playing DB, this would drive me nuts. So you jump off sides, okay? You jump off sides. Don't stop. Don't stop playing. You jumped off sides. You stop playing. Everyone in secondary still has to keep playing. If you jump off sides, you might as well go try to sack the quarterback now, at least try to help your guys in the back end. I mean, Alden Smith jumps, and then there's like almost like a 2 seconds where he's like, oh, crap, I got to keep going. Whew. If I was a Niner fan, that would have drove me crazy. But, it didn't. The Seahawks, we take the lead, and then, we don't put the game away, which made me real nervous. We had chances. We have Abrams strip sack fumble, which was another great call by Warren Moon and the guys, and I'll play it for you right now.
Kaepernick waiting now, gets into his crouch, takes the snap, looks, steps up, still looking. Ball is out! It's picked up by the Seahawks! It's a fumble! Seahawks are going down to the 5-yard line! Was it Michael Bennett who picked it up? I think it was Michael Bennett who recovered the fumble. What a man he has been for the Seahawks. Kaepernick fumbles on the sack. Bennett picks it up. The Seahawks are in business. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 5-yard line.
Run, Michael! Run, Michael! Run, Michael! Whew. You know what? Warren Moon, just some people give him a hard time for this, but I think he called a hell of a game. And one of the things is, Steve Rabel's the guy, of course, and he's one of the best in the biz, I think. But you can just see the pure emotion behind Warren is, just what it means for the city. And just, I love it. Call's great. Love it. But so we had that, and then we don't take advantage of it. We fumble on the goal line. Cam Chancellor gets an interception. We never put the nail in the coffin. And that's why I couldn't get 31 seconds out of my head. But they drive down to get down to the 20, and then for some reason, Colin Kaepernick decides he's going to try Richard Sherman. And he's only done it one time all game. And Richard Sherman has an amazing tip, gets past Crabtree pushes in the back, but that he knows he's never going to get that call. So you heard him say he tipped it up. Malcolm Smith is right there. And there's another lesson to you guys. Run to the football. Only good things happen when you run to the ball. Okay? If Malcolm Smith is just standing watching the ball in the air, he's not there, and the Niners have another play with 2 timeouts. He hustled his ass over there, ran to the football, tip, ball falls right in his hands, and we are going to Super Bowl 48. Here's the final call that sends us to the Super Bowl.
One more snap of the ball. 18 seconds remain. The Seahawks fought tooth and nail. Wilson takes the snap, takes a knee. The Seahawks are NFC champions. We're going to the Super Bowl to play the Denver Broncos.
And there it was. We're going to the Super Bowl, baby. I still I don't even know, man. The feeling I have, I'm still shaking, and I'm a week removed. But, I mean, my unsung heroes, of course, Doug Baldwin played his ass off. Great game. Bobby Wagner, he had 15 tackles. Cam Chancellor, who just knocked out Vernon Davis again. The guy's an intimidator. I said it on my show last week, Vernon Davis has to have absolute nightmares of Cam Chancellor every time he closes his eyes. Oh, my goodness. So he played his butt off. Jermaine Kearse had a great play. Richard Sherman on the tip. Russell Wilson. And there's a lot to be said about Russell Wilson beforehand, his struggles. And some people say he still didn't play that great of a game. He did everything he needed to get the job done. We're still a running football team. He went 16 of 25 for 215 and a touchdown. And to be honest, that's all we need from him right now. He played a hell of a game. He kept plays live with his feet. We did what we had to. He did look a little rattled to start the game. He fumbles on that first play, which didn't help. But no, he did what we had to do to win. And I'm not going to be negative Nancy because we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. That's all that matters right now. And just a game with so many great performances and one of the best NFC title games or just championship games ever to be played. The fact that all we are talking about is a little post-game interview. It's really unfortunate that all we're talking about is Richard Sherman's post-game interview with Aaron Andrews and his talks about a one receiver known as Michael Crabtree.
Richard, let me ask you the final play. Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick. LOB.
Who's talking about you? Who is talking about you? God. Adelaide, that was kind of funny, but here's the thing. Like I've said a million times, I have no problem with it. And we know that this just didn't just start on the field on Sunday. It's played with high intensity, but this goes back to a camp that both of them are at. Allegedly, Crabtree didn't want to shake Sherman's hand. Some words were said. So they've had a little beef for a long time. And they've played each other. They're in the same division. So it hit a boiling point. And when Richard Sherman went up and tried to shake his hand after the game, that's what happened. And here's that little conversation brought to you by Sound Effects.
Tell him again.
He doesn't shake his hand, and then Sherman just goes off in that little interview with Aaron Andrews, which people forget. What I got to see when I watched on NFL Network on that Sound FX thing is Sherman run up and give her a big old hug and all that stuff before the interview. Keeps continuing to be casted as villain. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he did that out of great sportsmanship, because I don't think he did. I think it was a little the ultimate like, hey, in your face, but still, he gets shoved in the face, and that's what happened, But here's the thing. The fact that we are only talking about this makes me sick. Makes me sick because we're taking away from what the players did on Sunday and the hell of a game that they played. And again, you stick that microphone in someone's face right after a game, you're going to get some emotion. And other guys would have handled it different ways, and a lot of people didn't like it, said they're old school. I have no problem with it. That's Richard Sherman's personality. That's how he plays this game. He plays this game with a chip on his shoulder. He plays this game as that 5th-round draft pick he always has been. And that's the intensity we love about him. So I have no problem with it. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't cuss anybody out. He didn't do all this stuff, but now he's a thug. He's this, he's that. I have no problem with it at all. Not one bit. That's how he plays the game, and that's how it was. And it's interesting that I heard that Fox actually told Aaron to cut off the interview before he left. So they were done with it. They didn't want to have any part of it. But I think it's just crap that we're talking about it, opposed to talking about how good of a game it was. So that was right after the game with Aaron Andrews, and then he took some time, went and talked to Ed Warder from ESPN also. So after that, he went to the locker room, showered up, put on a suit and tie, had a little time to compose himself, and he pretty much didn't back down from his comments one bit. Here's him at his press conference.
I was making sure everybody knew that Crabtree was a mediocre receiver. Mediocre. And when you try the best corner in the game with a mediocre receiver, that's what happens.
Hey, and he said the film doesn't lie. Crabtree doesn't do anything against Sherman. And I love that he stood by with what he said. He's again, that's why we love Richard Sherman. I didn't have any problem with it. Didn't have any problem with it. Like I said, the problem that I had with it is it took away from the team. It took the attention away from the team about how good of a game they played. And I know that wasn't his intention. I know that's not what was not his intention. That's the only problem I have with it. I didn't have a problem with what he said because he's speaking his mind, and that's how I want him to play the football game. When you're the best corner in the league and you're on the team's best receivers and you're on an island in the defense that we play, I want you to be like that. I don't want you to be some nice guy. I want you to play with that chip on your shoulder. But again, I didn't like how it took away from the team, and Coach Pete Carroll agreed with my comment.
When he puts out those kinds of thoughts, he has to know what he's saying and understand it, and I think he's very understanding at this point that he caused a stir that took something away from the team.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that's the only bad thing about this whole tirade. The fact that we're talking about it, and it gets so much worse. But after a couple days later, Sherman had a little while to think about it, especially after it blew up way bigger than he ever thought. And here's him talking about it on his press conference this past Tuesday, just pretty much rehashing everything that happened.
Just in terms of the way it took away from my teammates, great games. Cam Chancellor played a fantastic football game. Had an interception, huge plays in the game, and played almost a perfect ball game. Marshawn ran for freaking beast mode, ran for 100 yards plus, had a great touchdown run. And Bobby had 15 tackles. So many people played so many great games that you would think the stories would be about them. And so that's the only thing I feel kind of regretful about.
And again, I share that same sentiment. He's not regretful about calling Crabtree mediocre because that's how he feels, and he locked him down. And when you are the best corner in the game, you can talk like that. But it sucks that it took away from the team, and maybe in future he would wait a little bit. But that, I don't want him to change how he plays the game or how he does anything. So I stand by him. It took away from the team, which I dislike, but I have no problem with anything he said. Here's what I do have a problem with, and it's crazy that I read most of these ironically on Martin Luther King Day, how crazy behind some people are in this society. Unbelievable. So let me just remind you, we're playing a football game here. This is a game. People get paid a lot of money to play, but this is a game. And just hearing the stuff that people said about Sherman on Twitter, it just makes me absolutely sick. Unbelievable. And the fact that people will do this and have their name attached to it with their picture and stuff, just unreal. I could go on and on, but I'll read you some ridiculous tweets. Here's one from Michael Montello. Someone put Richard Sherman in an animal hospital because he's an effing gorilla. Hashtag no racism intended. Here's another one. Cocky N-word. Hashtag Seattle, San Francisco. Another one. Richard Sherman is an N-word. F that. F you, Richard Sherman. You paid N-word. Your coach sucks more blank than a porn star. Blank, you're done next year. I will blank every kid you ever have right in the mouth. Sherman's is as ignorant as an ape. And I could go on all day, but that stuff just makes me freaking sick. We're playing a football game and we're talking about all this stuff. Unbelievable. It kind of shed the light that racism is still alive, and it's still alive and kicking today. And I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, but it has to be addressed. It's absolutely disgusting that people can legitimately put their names to things like this over a freaking football game. And why does Richard Sherman everything he says that, and now he's a thug, he's this and that, because he gets amped up at a press conference or right after a game. He just won an NFC championship and he's going to the Super Bowl. He gets amped up, he yells some things, calls someone mediocre. That's the worst thing he said about someone, and he's a thug. He didn't get in trouble. He didn't get in trouble for a DUI. He didn't shoot somebody. He didn't rob a bank. But he's a thug, and he's all these other things that people are saying on Twitter. Makes me freaking sick. Unbelievable. And it's interesting how he's a thug for that, but you can have Philip Rivers say, taunting other quarterbacks from across the field, yelling, saying all kinds of stuff, running his mouth, but he's not a thug after something like that happens. And Richard went on to say later in the week that, a thug is now just an acceptable mention of the N-word. And he kind of has a point. It's getting close to that. It's just funny that a lot of things that happen in today, like Brent, the guy who used to be a former Dallas Cowboy who killed his teammate drunk driving, who just got sentenced last week, and that's just back page news. It's okay, who cares about that? Let's hear what Richard Sherman said when he called someone mediocre. It's freaking unbelievable. This got so much media. This was on CNN, Fox News, Pierce Morgan. The fact that it got to that extent is unbelievable, and also the people's just stupidity and just blatant racism. And I have no words to say, and I'm other than just disgusted of all days on Martin Luther King Day to be going back and looking and reading all this stuff. Just just makes me sick. And I know that's not how obviously everyone is in society. It's freaking 2014, but some people are just disgusting. And people need to stop and remember that we're playing a game. Yeah, it's a game that we love and people are passionate about it, but it's a game. Okay? These are actually people you're talking about. And you know what? As Sherman would tell you, do what you got to do. It's disgusting, but he's going to keep playing with that chip on his shoulder. He's going to keep doing everything he needs to do to help this team win. I don't have a problem with his antics after the game. I wish it didn't take away from the team. And that's just what the media wants to hear. But he needs to keep playing this game the way it should be played. He needs to keep playing this game with that intensity that he brings every single week. And I cannot wait for next Sunday. Super Bowl 48, it's been a long time coming. Oh, I mean, words don't describe how amped I am for this game. It's going down. Seahawks, Broncos, Super Bowl 48. That's going to do it for this edition of the Nasser Kyobe Show. Some final thoughts. What a hell of a game we played against San Francisco last Sunday. A lot of unsung heroes. We're going to Super Bowl 48. It's going to be a crazy week. Radio shows are going to be down on Radio Row. Over 100 broadcasters. The hype is here. We've learned that this Richard Sherman thing is not going to die down. I didn't have a problem with anything he said. He plays the game with that intensity. It's not the reporter's fault, but you stick a mic on someone's phone and at the end of the game, expect to hear some emotion. He stood by it. Sucks that it took away from his teammates, but it is what it is, man. I love how he plays the game, and I wouldn't change anything about him. And the people who want to just tweet and say all this racist stuff about him, get with it. It's 2014. Unbelievable. Racism still exists. But enough of that nonsense, even though it's not going to go away when Media Day comes rolling around. We all know there's going to be a million reporters at Sherman's desk, but I can't wait. So I'll be back next week with a quick preview of Super Bowl 48 and go Hawks, baby. Reminder, all my podcasts are on YouTube or on Nasser Kyobe Show. Thanks for listening.